hear you and you're good to go.
Okay. How we doing, gentlemen? Can you guys hear me?
No one will be able to respond. Their microphones are going to be muted.
Okay, they're going to be
If
muted.
anyone has a question, they can type it into the Q&A or the chat
Okay.
box, and then I will relay it to Coach.
Okay. All right, guys. My name is Greg Raby. I'm a high school football coach. This is actually my 45th year of coaching high school football. I started back in 1976. I think I was 19 years old when I was a student at San Diego State. And I went back and coached at my alma mater for a few years. I coached at Southwest High School. It's about 3 miles from the international border, US border. I was there for about 11 years. I coached at Southwest High School. I was there for 11 years. I went to Bonita Vista High School where I met Coach Rice, the guy that's organizing all of these clinics. I coached there for 21 years. And I was out of football for 3 years. I watched my son play. And I actually was a scout for the team that he played on and broke down film. I've been an offensive line coach. I was a JV head coach, coached JV for many years and varsity back in the old days. We did both. I was defensive coordinator for the vast majority of my career, coaching linebackers. And I did get an opportunity to coach offensive line for 8 years. And so I've been doing it for a long time. I taught for 38 years. I just retired in 2018. But I'm still hanging in there, still coaching. So I just wanted to share a little bit of my background with you. What I wanted to talk about today is some of our stunt and blitz game. And I'll include 1 back and also 2 back formations, show you just a few of the stunts and blitzes that we run. And I think a lot of it is designed to, like most blitzes and stunts and movements, we're not good enough to line up and play nose up on somebody and just play read and react defense. We do play some read defense, read on the run. We're a team that likes to get off on the ball, attack the offensive line, knock them back, shed blocks, and then make plays. But honestly, guys, we're not good enough to do that against a lot of the teams that we play. So we need movement. We need to stunt, twist, full slants with our line, gap exchanges with the tackles and the ends. We call those tiers and ears, text and exit. We have full line slants that we call lion and ram, where all 4 defensive linemen are slanting left and right. We run twist between our tackles, whether they're head up on the guards, or if we play a 1 and a 3 shade, and then we twist those 2 players, or vice versa. And then we run the gap exchanges between the tackles and the ends. And we'll also pinch the entire defensive line inside. With any of those stunts that I'm going to show you, we can bring 1 inside linebacker, 2 inside linebackers, 1 outside linebacker, both outside linebackers. We can bring an outside linebacker and his play side inside linebacker if we want. So we're pretty multiple in what we could do. I don't do all of it in one game. I'll really look at the team that we're playing based on the type of offense they run. Certain stunts and blitzes work better than others do. So I'm going to show you a lot of the stuff that we do, and then I'll put some film on and I'll share that with you. And then I think if there are questions that come up, our moderator will get a hold of me and then we'll go from there. So let me put some stuff up for you. Trying to get into it right now. Let me just go back to one other place. I think I got an easier place to get it out of. Let me go there. Okay, here we go. One of the things that we like to do is we like to twist our tackles. So right now we have both of our defensive tackles. We're a number scheme like many of you are. 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 are outside shades for us. 2, 4, 6, and 8 are head up shades for us. And then inside shades, 2-eye on the guard, 4-eye on the tackle, 6-eye on the tight end. So our kids know how to line up by shades. So if we're in an even front, and this is the picture that I'm showing you right here, and we're running the twist stunt between our tackles, normally our right defensive tackle will go first. So we're moving off the ball. He's going to take a lateral step with his near foot, and then he's going to work to the cheek or the front side shoulder of the center. We usually will use a dip and rip or a club rip. And we want to get a lateral move and then upfield penetration to the heels of the down lineman or the offensive lineman. Find the ball, and we're either breaking flat left or flat right. If we get a pass read out of the center, then we are up the field in pass rush mode. The other tackle will take a lateral step and then work behind him and fold behind him. So we have a penetrator. In this case, it's going to be our left tackle, and then the right tackle can fold. And I will change that from week to week. And then sometimes I'll have the other kid go first and the other one will go second. And then here in this, you can see the one shade that's on the center's eye. He always goes first. The 3 shade goes second. Now, something that I've done to change it a little bit, most of the time we're just laterally moving and then crossing, gap exchanging. But you can also take a forward step up. The penetrator always goes first quick. The folder can take one step up the field and then fold behind that, or you can just fold. I've done it both ways, and it's pretty effective. This stunt we really like to use a lot against zone teams, because what happens, and I'll show you some cut-ups, when you get the center and the guard stepping in what tackle, and he's slanting away, oftentimes the guard doesn't know what to do because he's not there in practice. The guy's always there, and we get our great double team into the backer. But when you're moving, a lot of times you're going to see in some of these cut-ups, you're going to see the center go back, the guard will flatten out, and the folder comes by unblocked, hits the zone run right in the mouth. And so it's been a very good stunt for us, especially against the zone teams. So I like this stunt quite a bit. Let me go and see if I can go forward. This is pinch. This is usually the first stunt, guys, that we put in. So we've got 2 shades with our tackles, 5 shades with our ends. We're going to take the tackles, we'll take a lateral step with their near foot or a slight upfield step. And then they're going to rip with their inside arm, get your elbow to your eye. Try to penetrate that gap between the center and the guard. Get it as tight to the center as you can. And we're going to try to get to the heels of the center guard. Find the ball, flatten out left, flatten out right. If it's a pass, rush the passer. If you get double teamed, sometimes because of our quickness, we split it. Oftentimes not. We teach the kids to pile any double team, to keep the 2 inside linebackers free. Those are my 2 best athletes. This year, I had one linebacker that was 6 foot, 215. The other one was 6'3", 240. And they could both run and they could both hit. They're really good football players. And so a lot of the line movements that I'm doing are designed to protect those 2 guys so they can run and make plays. Force double teams along the line of scrimmage. Pinch has been very effective for us against inside zone, lead, trap, quick 30 passes, because a lot of times when the tackle's set and they have a 5 shade end, they're going to step right at him. They're going to pick their foot up and put it down. Sometimes we get underneath them and we get right in the quarterback's face. Sometimes we're unblocked if that tackle doesn't set. And so this has been a very good stunt for us. It's excellent in short yardage when you think it's going to be a quarterback sneak. And sometimes I'll put my middle linebacker right over the center. So if they want to try to sneak, there's not much room to sneak in there. So that's been a really good stunt for us. We like that one a lot. I don't want to go that one. Let me go back the other way. Tom stunts. Well, let me go to one more. Tom stunts are our tackle stunts. And what we do, I'll call 40 Tom. Tom is for the tackles. If we call lucky, both tackles are slanting to the left. Same slant technique that they would use on pinch. Really, it's the slant technique that they're going to use going either left or right. Near foot, up the hill at 45 degrees, rip the backside arm, or you can go club rip if you want. Get into that A gap, pinch, and get up the hill into that A gap to the center's feet, to the guard's heels. And then if it's passed, push the damn pocket. Knock those two guys back. If they double you, pile their ass up right there. Pile it up, let our inside linebacker run unblocked. He'll knock the crap out of the running back if they run zone inside. Okay? And then the other tackle is slanting too. What we've done is a lot of the zone read teams offset the back. And I don't know how you guys defense them, but to me, it's become pretty obvious. If the back is set deep and to the right, the zone's going left. The counter's going left. The sweep is going left. The trap is going left. The only plays that we see that go into the back are sometimes a quick toss, a speed option. Some teams will run a dive, but we don't see that very much. So sometimes I'll slant away from the back or I'll slant into the back. And so we can mix this up, and I can call it based on formation, based on where they set the back. And then also, as you see here, if we are slanting, and let's say that, for example, I've got a lucky called on, and you're slanting to the left and that guard blocks down, you know trap's coming. Stick your foot in the ground, do the best you can to come back. Now, the good news is coming from the backside, that guard pulls away from you and you're stunning inside. You know the center's going to off block you. Dip and rip him with your near hand, follow in behind him, or knock him back into the A gap and make that hole smaller, force that trap to cut back to you. So you want to make sure that the kids know you're not always going to you're not going to always call the slant into the play. You know, they're going to run the opposite. So how do you adjust and how do you react to that? So we'll work hard on that particular thing, trapping, or if they run the zone play or any play away from us, how do we react? Again, get off, get lower than the offensive lineman, club rip, dip and rip, turn your shoulder, get skinny. When you slant inside, read the lineman that you're slanting toward. It could be a center, it could be the guard. And as you're slanting, you can read on the run. If the guard pulls your way, get in his hip pocket. Ball's going that way. If he base blocks you, the run's coming that way. If he scoops the other way and the tackle tries to scoop back on you and you slant, you're going to have to stick your foot in the ground and go back the other way the best you can, flatten out and play the cutback. So just don't run aimlessly into a gap. Hit your gap and then read on the run and then react to what you see. And it's our job as coaches to show them the different blocking schemes that they're going to get and how do we react to it. The best things that I've learned, and I actually learned this, I don't know if you guys are as old as me, Ray Malavasi was a longtime NFL coach, he used to coach for the Rams. And this was back in the very early 80s. I didn't even know what gap exchange stunts were. You know, we were playing in a 50 or a 4-4, and we weren't doing a lot of this kind of stuff. You know, we were just blitzing the linebackers and slanting the tackles and ends left and right. I didn't know that you could have two defensive linemen change gaps. That's where tiers and ears comes from, text and exit. This is some of the best stuff that we do, especially with smaller, quicker linemen. But if you got big kids that can play football too, this is great stuff. Tiers and ears are gap exchange, no flash stunts. So on the right, you see tiers. So in tiers, the tackle is slanting to the B gap. It's the same slant technique that he would use if he was running, if we were slanting to the right, that would be a ram call for us. Or if we called Lucky or Ringo. Ringo means he's tackle slanting to the right. So he's aiming really for the inside hip of this tackle. So he's going to step toward the tackle, 45-degree step. rip his inside arm across the guard's face and attack that B gap and read off of that tackle. If that tackle blocks down on you, you know the ball's going outside of you. Strike him with both hands, but impress him to the best of your ability. Stay behind the ball, but if you can cross his face and get outside, you can. If not, run underneath the block, rip underneath, flatten out, and run to the ball. Okay, because we have an outside run force safety right here that's going to force. Then the end is taking the lateral step and he's flipping through the A gap. He's going to read off the center as he stunts back inside the center and the guard. He's going to look at them. If the guard pulls away from him, hell, he knows the ball's going the other way. Trap, counter, power. You know the center's going to block back on you. Run underneath him. If he's flat, cross his face. If he blocks down, run underneath him. And this has been a great stunt against zone. It's a great stunt against any really inside run. And it's very good. We've actually run it in passing downs too. And we just get that quick flash. And if the offensive line sets out, a lot of times our end comes free. We make a lot of plays against zone doing this. So if the back was set to the right, I would call tiers and would get that stunt. That end's going to hit that backside A gap. And a lot of times he's unblocked. The only difference between tiers and Tex is more of a pass rush stunt. So in tiers and ears would be end first, tackle second. I'll bring that down and show you in a second. In Tex now, the tackle is the penetrator. In tiers, the tackle is the penetrator. You're first, end is second. Tex, tackle's coming first. He is going to explode up the field. And he is aiming for that tackle's inside hip if he can. He wants to attack that tackle and work up the field for late contain. The guards usually, when they see a tackle working through that B gap, they're going to open up and kick a little bit to get there. Then the end is going to take 2 to 3 steps up the field and then fold underneath to the A gap. We're trying to get the guard and tackle on different levels so that we can run by them. And so Tex is a very good stunt against running quarterbacks. I like to run quarterback draw. Against draw, I love to run Tex and then bring either one of my inside linebackers off the edge or one of my outside linebackers off the edge. And I'll do the same thing with tiers. And that way I've got A gap covered, B gap covered, and C gap covered if the quarterback keeps it, or if it's a pass and the back is set to the other side. If the center, guard, and tackle don't slide right, my outside backers off the edge, we're knocking the crap out of the quarterback. Balls on the ground, scoop and score. We've had many tremendous hits that way coming off of these stunts because it does put stress on the offensive line. And then you can see Tex here at the bottom, and then there's tiers, the stunt as well. So tiers and ears would be end first, tackle second. We don't flash. We don't get up the field and then fold. Tex and exit, tackle first up the field, and 2 to 3 steps, fold to the A gap. So they're just gap exchanges. Tiers and ears, in my opinion, are better for the run. Tex and exit are more pass rush stunts. So you can get the gap exchange that way. Okay. Lion and Ram are 2 really big stunts that we run a lot. I don't know in your conferences, but a lot of teams are field oriented. And if the ball's on a hash mark, it's going to the field. So we can either slant our front to formations. We face a lot of jet sweep teams. So a lot of times I make this an automatic. I'll just call 40 slant. If they put jet motion to the left, lion, 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 hold down line and slant and left. Ram, 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 hold down line and slant and right. Same slant techniques. Get off the ball. Step with your near foot. Rip with your backside arm. Get penetration. Get up the field, but flatten out when you get to the heels of the offensive lineman. Don't run by plays. You're not, this end and this tackle are not contained players. You're an A gap player, you're a B gap player. The linebackers will stack behind the ends. If the tackle and end pinch inside, he becomes the C gap player. He has quarterback keep on option. If the quarterback breaks contain, he will force. Okay. And again, you can see what the correct move is. Don't just stunt inside and run 100 miles an hour up the field, especially when it's a run. Get your penetration, get to the heels, find the ball, stick your foot in the ground. You're either going to go left or you're going to go right. The more you stay along the line of scrimmage, the more plays that we make, especially we force backs to cut back. So if we slant this way and they're running zone, that back's not going to be able to run outside of the defensive end. A lot of times they cut back, bam, we hit them right in the mouth. I can blitz linebackers. For example, if I have my two stacked linebackers, they're called Blaze and Fire. Blaze is the strong inside, Fire is the weak. I can go Lion Blaze. So now Blaze will blitz through the A gap. So I can gap out. I can cover every gap. Attack, attack, attack. Get off the ball. Attack the line of scrimmage. Don't let these big linemen that outweigh us by 30 pounds get all their nice, pretty little zone steps and get their combo. Where we line up, and this is what I sell the kids on, guys, where we line up is not where we're going to be. That offensive line has no idea in hell where we're going to be when that ball is snapped. We can be moving left. We can be moving right. We can be moving inside. We can be moving outside. We can gap exchange. And I have other twist stunts that we run too. So what we try to do is put the fear of God in the other guys. They don't know where the hell we're coming from. So now it slows them down a little bit. They take more lateral steps. They're not as aggressive as attacking us at times. Now we own the line of scrimmage. And to me, this is where football's won. If your defensive line, if you're 4 down linemen, or if you're an odd team, your 3 down linemen can control 4 or 5 blockers. You're going to have a free hitter, whether it's an inside linebacker, an outside linebacker. And that's where you do your damage. That's where you get guys clean, running down the hill and knocking the crap out of the running back, and you stop the run. Okay. Here's our, I do tears and ears with you guys. Here's ears. So now with ears, end is going inside first. He's a B gap player. Tackle is flashing lateral. Now, and the danger with ears is that now you have a defensive tackle in C gap. So if the quarterback keeps the ball, you've got a defensive lineman on him in zone read. A lot of times our safeties in the back, we're playing a 2 match behind it. Sometimes it's more of a 4-3. Then those safeties are reading. And if the receivers block, they give us secondary run force. Or our invert, we call them inverts, our outside linebackers. They're lightning to the left, thunder to the right. They're reading that tackle. If they get run block, they're going to trigger inside and they're going to attack the line of scrimmage. If the quarterback keeps the ball, we can get secondary help as long as they don't get blocked by the wide receiver. For my guys, it's embarrassing as an outside linebacker if you weigh 160 or 70 or 80 pounds and you get blocked by a 130-pound wide receiver. That's unacceptable for us. And then we work like hell on reading our keys and then either coming underneath, through, or outside of stock blocks by the wide receivers. Crack replace, will replace crack blocks. So you got to work on those things to make sure you got it covered. I think I've got one more in there, and then let's get on some film. Let's see what else I got. Oh, our shades real quick, just to show you. Not any different from what you guys do. Odd shades, and this is what we emphasize to the kids. A 1 shade would be on the shade of the center, 3 shade outside eye of the guard, 5 shade outside eye of the tackle. A 7 is a outside shade of the tight end. A 9 if they have a wing, or we're 2 or 3 yards outside of the last man on the line of scrimmage. Outside shade, don't get reached. Do not get reached when you're in an outside shade. You've got to force the ball back inside. If your man blocks down, step down. Here comes trap, power, counter. If you're a tackle and the guard blocks down, you're getting trapped. Squeeze down, wrong arm the trap. Or you can squeeze it if you want, however you want to play it. Do not ever let an offensive lineman get a direct shot at an inside linebacker. You've got to come off the ball and strike that man and play the half that you're on, the shade that you're on. Inside hand and between his numbers, outside hand on his outside number or pad. Knock him back. Come off the ball, stroke him, and then read on the run. React to what you see. So those would be odd shades. Here are gaps, not any different than anybody in America runs. A gap, in the shade of the center to the inside shade of the guard. B gap, C gap, D gap. We call anything outside of D gap as E gap or the alley. And so the kids know where their gaps are. So when you're stunning, I have A gap strong, B gap strong, C gap strong, A gap weak, B gap weak, D gap weak. So the kids know what gaps they have and they know their shade and how they play it. And then the even shades, 2, 4, 6, and 8. If you're an even shade, we like to stun a lot out of these shades when we get head up. We're slanting and moving. And so we can play even shades. And then we can play our eye shades, 2-eye, 4-eye, 6-eye. When you're on the inside eye, don't get cut off. They should not be able to scoop you on the backside and cut you off. If you get blocked down, you got to fight and hold your ground. Play your gap and either shed the blocker and play your gap, or if the ball gets outside of you, then you have permission to cross his face and get to the football. Strike the player from the inside out. On an odd shade, you're striking him from the outside in. In an eye shade, you're striking him from the inside out. Okay. All right, let me put some film on and show you a bunch of the stuff. So I've got to go back to my library. And I'm going to go, let's do some twist stunts first against Hilltop. First 2 games, guys, we played the number 10 team in San Diego County, East Lake High School. They got about 1,000 more kids than us, got beat 55-3. We gave up 3 special teams touchdowns and 2 pick sixes. I'll say that again. 3 special teams kicked. They ran back a kickoff and 2 punts. We threw 2 interceptions. They got returned for touchdowns. So we really gave up defensively, I think, 21 points against a really good team. Then we played Montgomery High. They're ranked number 15 or 20. They're actually a smaller school than us, but they've got really good athletes. They beat us 42-0. Our punter averaged 8 yards a punt. We were inside our 50 13 times. They had the ball inside of our 50. So our backs were to the wall. We threw 3 interceptions, multiple fumbles. We gave up 3 50-yard passes. That's our fault on defense. And then the last 2 games, we went to more of this 4-3, cover 2. And then we ran our same stunt game. The teams we played weren't as good. They were more even with us. We held our last 2 opponents to 3 points. Out of 12 trips inside of the red zone, we gave up 1 field goal. So we made remarkable progress. I attribute it a lot to the kids believing in us as coaches. We didn't know any of them when we got there. It's a whole brand new staff. We've been on COVID. We haven't been able to do squat for most of the year. We couldn't even take a football out there when we were doing conditioning or bags. So we were so far behind the 8 ball. It took us until really the last 2 weeks for the kids to get it. So here comes twist. Let me make this big for you. We're in our 40 front. So 40 for us is tackles in 2 shades, ends in 5 shades. We can also play gap, 40 gap. 40 gap puts both of our tackles on the inside eye of the guards. Over, if the strength is left, the left tackle's in a 3 shade, the right tackle's in a 1 shade. The ends are always in 5 shades. It makes it easy for them. If we call under, the right tackle is in a 3 shade, he moves to the right. The left tackle is in a one shape. The other front that we play is called switch. Our tackles are head up, pass rush. Our ends are about a yard outside of the tackles, tilted at about 70 degrees, and we are coming off the edge. So those are the three fronts that you're going to see. Our primary coverages are cover two, and if we're blitzing two or more guys, we're either playing cover one or cover zero with no free safety. So here comes our twist stunt. Our right tackle will be going first. Our left tackle will be going second. Let me play the whole play. And you can see the gap exchange, but I want to come back slow. Our right tackle, too damn high. You're going to get your asses kicked, in my humble opinion, when your helmets are above their helmets. Our eyes should be below their chin. Our hands should be pressing inside out. You're in a 5 shade. Your inside hand should be in the middle of his body. Your outside hand should be there. Your legs should be bent. You should be benching him and knocking him back and squeezing him. The end should be squeezing the tackles into the B gap. This guy is too high, our penetrator. He's too high, he doesn't rip, and he's not getting to the A gap. But see how it forces the center and guard. They're running zone. Here comes zone read. Back is to the left, the zone's to the right. The trap's to the right, the counter's to the right, the sweep is to the right. If you break down your film and you look at it, I'm telling you, that's how it usually goes a lot of times. So we're running our twist stunt. Now, our tackle, the big kid, nice stunt, folds behind. I don't like the crossing of the legs there. I'd rather him shuffle and then get up. You're scraping paint. Get right off of his ass, flatten your shoulders up. You can see the guards blocking out. That means the ball's coming inside. He runs right by it, doesn't he? He's right there if he just square his shoulders. But see, at least, even though my penetrating tackle is too damn high, at least he holds the double team. So now, watch the inside linebackers. He butts and presses. Our end does a nice job with button press. And because we have an outside run force player and we're playing zone, he can come underneath the base block. We just started doing that. Because before, when we didn't, our ends would run upfield, there'd be a big gaping hole. The guard gets on the back or they're out the gate. Since we changed and started teaching this technique called sizzle, strike, press, locate, disengage the blocker, and make a play. And so now our twist comes. We miss him, but the front side end who button pressed made a nice play. But you can see, we're not in too bad a shape. If we were lower, you're going to see some better ones. This is not a very good one. I would give the kids a D on this because bam, that's your play. That should be a tackle for no gain right there. You're unblocked. Okay. And so that would be an example right there. I'll let it go through. Let me go to the next play. I think I got another twist coming up. So here we go. Now we're in a gap front. So gap, and it works pretty good out of gap. We're on the inside eye of the guard. We're on the inside guy of the guard. Big boy's going to penetrate first. Does he step with his near foot? Does he rip his backside arm? Does he step lateral? Does he rip his backside arm and get into the A gap? Let's see what kind of stuff we get here. A little high. You can see both of these kids are underclassmen. One's a junior. He's a junior. Hardly played as a sophomore. He's a sophomore. Our best right tackle, and I think he's going to become a pretty good defensive tackle down the road. But he's a little better offensive lineman. But there's the fold, bang. If he would just keep his head up and make a tackle. He's a little high. He's not very flexible. He doesn't bend very well. And he doesn't dip and rip. Inside linebacker, backside. Can't block him because these two took 3 blockers. That's what the twist game does for you, man. A lot of times it takes both the center and the guard you're going to get an unblocked player, backside inside linebacker. Here we go. Fit, bang, hello. Not much of a gain. If we were quicker, if we were dipping and ripping, there would be tackles for losses in the backfield that can't block it. Here we go again. Again, see how high my tackle is? That's pathetic. That we don't teach that. I don't know what that is. He should be stepping, he's stepping too flat. He's got to step into the offensive line. His face can't be this high. Now, this tackle does a nice job folding behind. He's a littler kid, about 190 pounds. But we didn't get there, did we? Our end comes screaming upfield. Look at our left end. You want to give me a heart attack, son? Keep doing this. He's not butting and pressing the end. He's allowing the tackle to come down and block. He runs himself out of the play. They're running GT counter. So we're getting a kick out. He runs his ass up the field, gets trapped. Oh my God, they got the big tackle on the backer. Here they go. So when you don't play right at the defensive end position, you're not very good. Plus, the stances are wrong. Inside foot should be back, outside foot should be up. You're stepping with your near foot. Both of their stances are not correct, and they're too high. So you got to play better. So that wasn't very good. So when you don't execute, bad stuff happens. Okay, they're going to run power bob. Hey, look where the back is, guys. Back is left. The run's going right. Here we go. Let's twist. Sorry about the line.
Coach, you're right at the 5-minute mark here.
Okay. Oh, God, I didn't. Let me get to a couple blitzes for you. Damn, that was fast. Let me go back to my library. Let me take that smaller. Let me show you our best blitz. I got 5 minutes. Will I be able to answer any questions? Were there any questions? Okay, let me pass this one. Pass this one. Here we go. Here's our best blitz. Thunder lightning, pinch, thunder lightning. We're going to slant the entire defensive line inside. Tackles are going A gap. Both of our outside linebackers, see them start creeping? We're coming off the edge. Sometimes teams will check on us. We're going to run our blitz. So we're pinching everybody inside. Tackle's got the A gap. End's got the B gap. Both outside linebackers are coming. We're locked up in man coverage. Here we come. You want to run the ball? Right at this. Bang. Outside linebacker unblocked. They don't have enough guys. The end slants inside. We're all over it. We ran this blitz against Chula probably 11 times. 9 were tackles for losses. They had no answer for it. They weren't ready for it. We didn't run it a lot the previous week. And this is a great pass rush blitz. It is a really good run stopping blitz. And the kids believed in this blitz more than anything. So that's why I ran it. So we're coming off the edge. We lose contain, but look at the effort that we get. And we force a bad pass. The blitzer's got to make sure that he aims at least a yard or so outside of a rolling quarterback. Don't run right at him or he's going to run by you. But you can see the hustle that we get. Incomplete pass. Late in the game, they're driving again on us. Here we come. Thunder lightning. Call it 40 pinch, 40 gap, pinch, thunder lightning. Coming off the edges. Creeping, here we come. Force a bad throw. We also are forcing them to block 7 guys. They got out of their 1 back crap because they couldn't block this with 1 back. Now they're keeping 2 backs in at 7-man protection. Here we come. Keep coming. Force a bad throw, incomplete pass. Let's give it to them again, baby. What you believe in, you got to run. Your kids believe in it. They want to attack. Here we come. This time, our left defensive end. Tackle blocks out. In comes free. Bang. Let's end the game right now. This was the last time they touched the ball, I think. We're in the 4th quarter. Got him. The outside linebackers can swim rip. They can butt press. And then we got the inside guys pushing. Hell of a blitz for us. Here's our double blitz. Both backers going through the B gap. Ends got the C gap. Tackle's got the A gap. I only have one cut up of this. I got tired of them. They keep trying to run the ball at us. Here we go. We're going to bring 6 guys. We'll stop the run. We're going to gap out. We're going to cover every gap. We're going to penetrate. We're going to beat your blocks. Bam. Down on the goal line. Here comes a double blitz, but in goal line, instead of the thunder and lightning coming off the edge, they're going to come through the B gaps. Ends got the outside contained. First and goal on the 2-yard line. They do not score. Bang. You're not going to run in there. I think I got one more good one for you here. Okay, this is our tiger front. We use this as a pass defense. It's a 3-man rush. Slant our nose, cross splits our 2 inside linebackers. Almost got him. This is not good. You cannot hit above the numbers, and that's why I put this in. And so I don't think the kid did it on purpose. Our great kids don't hit people to hurt them like that. We don't teach that. But you cannot hit and have direct contact with the helmet. Then here's another thing you can't do. Then cheer about it. That was a 30-yard penalty. Saw the 2 flags come out. Not good. Here's a gap twist. I think I'm probably at the end of my time. We're going to twist inside. We get great coverage on the corner. So there's our twist stunt. Got a little pressure on him. Great job by our corner. Stopped him again. Here's another twist. Again, the twisters eat up 3 blockers. 2 inside linebackers unblocked, finish. Get off a block. Frontside backer beats the base, backside inside linebacker, finish it. We're fired up. We're playing football now. Gentlemen, I wish I had more time. I could show you a few more things. Were there any questions at all or anything?
There were no questions that came up, Coach. Good stuff.
Okay. Very honored. I really appreciate you guys with your time. If you want to contact me, my email is graby74@gmail.com. I can send you this in PowerPoint. I can send the cut-ups to you as well from Huddle if you guys have Huddle. So please contact me if you like any of that stuff. Thank you for moderating. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, bye-bye.